Picard was an estate with bananas. It is now a housing estate. But further south of Picard, you get to Mount Pleasant, and below that you get Point Round, and further up you get to Syndicate and Milton. And 2 weeks ago I went to Milton Syndicate. I consider it to be an agricultural university. And I have every difficulty in understanding why it is that our Minister of Agriculture, who is leaving office, fortunately for us in Dominica, passes from Pebbles through Picard, goes to sit lazily in Roseau, and is not concerned to go up to Milton, Picard, and Mount Pleasant and see that the future of Dominica resides up there. After he woke from a slumber, he told us that agriculture was the mainstay of Dominica's economy. If only he had asked the Prime Minister, as they are all on their way out, to allow him to put his office at Mount Pleasant, or at Milton, or at Syndicate, we would probably not be having this meeting, because Dominica would be booming. But alas, he did not do that. And I'm saying that with the affinity that I share our constituency with the Portsmouth constituency, the agricultural lands that are in Mount Pleasant, Picard, some of what is remaining at Syndicate, at Fort Pie, at one time was developed by a stalwart, Dominica's national hero, who contested elections in Portsmouth and completed his political career in Solihull, the uncle of the outgoing Prime Minister. And I dare say that the outgoing Prime Minister is not capable of, well, not unless now because the gentleman has died. But he couldn't even open the door of the gentleman's house in Vegas. Because I know that the ruggedness, the toughness, the integrity, the astuteness of Libra was nurtured in Solihull. And that is why he had roads cut from Picard to Milton, through Syndicate, to Fort Pie, to Guano, through Arose, to come down to Solihull, because he saw what was in these heights and these lands. And today, the farmers in Milton, the farmers in Syndicate, the farmers in Fort Pie are crying. And before I go further, I want to say something. Today I was told that the Mepui machine of the Labour Party has declared war on me. Well, let me just say this. My name is Nicholas George. I was born in the village of Solihull to parents that I had been very proud of. May the soul and the soul of all the faithful departed, because they are among them. And they raised me well. And throughout my life, I have gone through adversity. The fact that I plucked success from this adversity shouldn't give the Labour Party any right to desecrate the memory of my father or to character assassinate me. But I have a question for the Labour Party that seeks to indulge in this. That when I went to Syndicate, I saw no orange tree there with a Labour Party tag on it, a United Workers Party tag on it, no a Freedom Party tag on it. I saw plants that require assistance. I was told that they needed white line to refresh the land. You needed to clean the trees. You needed to replant new plants. One farmer told me that he has 45,000 coffee trees planted and growing. And very shortly, he will have sustained employment for at least 6 months for people to come and pick coffee. In all that I saw, and I've been saying, I have not yet seen that these things and the road that needed to be done, in the feeder roads that needed to be rehabilitated, I have not seen that with a labor or political tag on it. So I want to say to the Labour Party, they can leave my name alone. All they have to do is to rehabilitate the roads that lead from Mount Plaisance through to Picard, to Milton, to Syndicate, to Fopai, to Guano, to Rochette, to Awase, to Opito. Because these are roads that were opened by Libla, and cars access those roads. Now they are part of the nature trail. Do you know who built the Portsmouth Public Library? Do you know who extended, put 14 classes on the PSS building? Do you know who put the food pavilion at Ross Universities? UWP 2 But 14 years later, they want to say Labour ka Tuavai. Labour mal Tuavai. Because if you've worked for 14 years, you should have come to tell the people of Portsmouth and Dominica, Labour Tuavai. And you should point out to them exactly what you have done in the constituency and around Dominica. What about the Moroccan hotel that started how many years ago? We expected that hotel to complete already. Do you know, people of Portsmouth, that Public Works had 4 streets in Portsmouth, and they took 2 away from them and gave it to Dipcon? People of Portsmouth, don't be silent, don't do like you don't know. You heard us speak spoke earlier on about your parliamentary representative and this problem he having with the PM. People of Portsmouth, United Workers' Party is a team about development, it's about advancement of the people. The people of Portsmouth, under the United Workers' Party, that's when we first had cruise ship and the cruise ship birth. Today, what you have in Portsmouth, brothers and sisters, under the United Workers' Party, you had transport coming to sell bananas at Longhouse, reaching past the Indian River, going to 1 mile, brothers and sisters. People of Portsmouth, under the United Workers' Party, non-banana crops on Sundays and Mondays, the jetty was full, brothers and sisters. People of Portsmouth. Today, what are you seeing in Portsmouth? Portsmouth is, they call Portsmouth Jade Padat Labour. And they continue to disrespect you, people of Portsmouth. When under the Freedom Party, under the United Workers' Party, and then even before, you could come to Portsmouth and grant basics for labor. But what have they done for people of Portsmouth in the 50 years that they have been represented by the Dominica Labour Party? Brothers and sisters, this is serious times, you know. Ask yourself a question, you're at your homes. I want to extend a good night to my uncle, or you know my uncle in Portsmouth, Hector John. That's my uncle. Porto Labour, but this is my uncle. I want to tell him good night, and to the family in Portsmouth. But brothers and sisters, this is serious. The United Workers' Party, under the leadership of Lennox Linton, under your candidate, Jefferson James, we look at the different areas for the development of our country and the constituency. The sectors that will bring economic growth to you: agriculture, tourism, construction, sports. Brothers and sisters, the United Workers' Party continue to make opportunities available to our young people to develop themselves. For 14 years,
What advancement? Benjamin Park should be one of the superior parks in Dominica. What is happening at Benjamin Park? For 14 years and 50 years of the Dominica Labour Party reign. Brothers and sisters, after Charles Walters, what other cricketer from Portsmouth can talk about? They advance themselves for national Windward Island cricket and the region by extension. None. But you have the opportunity for Portsmouth, Benjamin Park to be a #1 park in Dominica. Brothers and sisters, not only for cricket, but for the different sporting disciplines, and the young men and women of Portsmouth and environs will get the opportunity to advance themselves. That is what we're talking about. That is representation. The United Workers' Party under Jefferson James will bring you that development, brothers and sisters, people of Portsmouth. That is why I continue to say, Labour mal travail. Brothers and sisters, under the United Workers' Party, brothers and sisters, money was meeting money. Today, Kwedi meeting Kwedi, brothers and sisters. You will go to a shop for Kwedi and they'll tell you, you forget the oil beer from my back of the glass week. That is the reality of it, brothers and sisters. And the people of Portsmouth, if you want your community to advance, if you want the town of Portsmouth to advance, join the United Workers' Party. Be on the winning team. Vote Jefferson James. Vote the United Workers' Party. Vote Lennox Linton and move your community forward.
Greetings from the constituency of Soufrière, Scotsay, Port Michel, Bagatelle, and Soufrière, Port Michel. It's nice to be here. But the reason to be here is to endorse Jefferson James and the United Workers' Party. People of Portsmouth, you have been voting Labour Party for decades. I guess that is the birth of Labour Party. You have to assess yourself and ask yourself, are you better off now than you were under the days of the United Workers' Party? Ladies and gentlemen, when you in a government, your role is to create jobs for its people. And if you fail to do that, it means that you are fooling the people. Because a role of a government is to create jobs. And if you fail to create jobs for its people, something is wrong. I said to my constituency that, examine me carefully, and I promise them to give them effective representation, not when election is at hand. I cannot do that. You cannot vote for government every 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. Examine yourself. Examine yourself, people of Portsmouth and Dominicans. You cannot vote for a government when election is at hand. It means that something is wrong. The government is dishonest to its people and its constituency. So that is why I am here. I am here this evening to endorse Jefferson James and the United Workers' Party, Team Dominica and Lennox Linton. Change does not only refer to politics, you know. If you're in working anywhere 15, 20 years ago, you say to yourself, boy, I worked in there 5, 10, 15 years ago. Right with there is the IB. You don't want to improve yourself? You need to improve yourself. Young people of Portsmouth, in particular the young people, I am calling on you, the young people. Do not be used and fooled by the Dominica Labour Party. If the Dominica Labour Party has been there for 14, 15 years and they have not delivered, it's not when they come back they will deliver for you. Take a note of that. You must open your mind. We are Dominicans. Difference are who labor, who workers, who freedom. That's fine. We have to respect that. But when it comes to reality, we have to look at each other in the eyes and say, are we really satisfied with the Dominica Labour Party? You cannot be satisfied with the Dominica Labour Party. Ladies and gentlemen, Skerrit one vacant seat. Ian Douglas one vacant seat. There is no seat more important than the other. You are a minister, you are in charge. We come together, we want our seats, we elect a Prime Minister. But that doesn't mean the Prime Minister in charge. You're in charge too! Because if you did not win your seat, you wouldn't from the government. So Skerrit must respect the ministers. That's what you have a government for, a team. No one not bigger than the other, you work as a team. So if you are not examining those things, I want want you to look at the mirror and say to yourself, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I've been voting Labour for how many years, you know. And let's make a change, man. Let's see if we can make a change. So that is why I'm calling the people of Portsmouth to bring that change. You must vote for Team Dominica, Leonard Clinton, our leader, and your own Jefferson James. Thank you.
Friends, today, most of us are struggling. Instead of developing this economy, we have been put in a situation where we have been brought to our knees and we are forced to beg. I told them in Caribbean, I remember when I was a school child, while my grandmother used to come over here to go to school, one of the things she would say to me is, Eunica, do not ask, do not beg anybody for anything. Go to school straight. So why now we are asked, as adults, we are begging for things? Where is our dignity? Where is our pride? And I know Portsmouth people, like famous people, are proud people. People who want to work for a living. But we have been brought to our knees by this government. Let's be fair, let's be honest. Look at the condition of the Portsmouth Hospital today. Do you think Rosie Douglas would build a state palace and leave Portsmouth Hospital like that? Let us be honest with ourselves. This government has lost their soul. They have lost their substance. They are lost in the wilderness, and we must bring them back to earth. Because people must come first. Think about that. You want something, you have to be looking for a barrel up and down because your house falling apart. You have to be looking for the Prime Minister advisor up and down because your house falling apart. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be begging a man like that. You want to work, but you are forced to beg because they have refused to develop this economy. So sometimes you have to get up 6 o'clock, leave Portsmouth bus stop, and walk up to Parliament building. When you reach there, you meet in a long line on Wednesday. And come back next week. You waiting in line, you want to be you can't move because you're afraid you move and your time come. We cannot continue to live like that. We cannot let people bring us to our knees. Not a time. Friends, I am proud to say that I'm an independent person. So I analyzed both political parties. And I realized that this government has lost their soul. And there is no saving for them. I understand both parties are not perfect, but we have to work with what we have. And I see in Mr. Leonard Clinton, JJ, and Team Dominica that we have a